So you were saying that you started, a little recap, you started about 7 years ago low riding. Your mom gave you the car.
I had the car for 10 years. And I blocked it all out. I sanded it all down. Thought it was my car. Like, I want to do it good. Got it painted. This was about 10 years ago. And I had it. I put 6 batteries in it. Wired it. I went to Anaheim Wire on my fucking bicycle. And I went and got it. Wired it. I have a book from Red's Hydraulics. It's like a little book. I'll show it to you. I'll send you a picture.
You're a real mechanic.
Yeah, and it tells you a book. Like literally on hydraulics, and it had a wiring diagram. Wired it up. I hopped it. It was all primered and shit. And I was hopping in my house like maybe 1 inch or 2 inch, and from there I was like, oh, I love it. This is what I want to do with this type of car. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, like, you're mechanic, because I know my uncle, like, he's been a mechanic ever since I was, like, small. And I remember him, like, growing up, we would go to, like, O'Reilly's or, I don't know, whatever store. And if he was working on a certain car, he'd literally go in there and then he would, like, read it and then take pictures of it and then go home. So I know that there's no such a thing, like, as books. Like, that's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, books. I mean, electrical diagrams, like, wiring diagrams, and specs. I mean, torque wrench, people need it, and I feel like I'm being cheap, but I also feel like it's a puzzle that I want to fix the car. You know what I mean? Like, I could do it myself.
Built, not bought. Like, you built that shit and you're fixing it yourself. So you take pride in the shit you. And then when you break something, you already know, like, oh, it's this or it's that. Like, you already know what the fuck you're looking for. And compared to if you go to someone else and be like, yo, can you fix this shit for me? Oh, and then they might fix one thing, but then break something else. Versus you do it, it's like, that's like your child. Like, you know your daughter inside and out. That's the same thing with your car.
Crazy too, because I've been doing it for so long that sometimes I'll be there like, oh, what the fuck, and my girl will be like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that.
She knows?
Yeah, she'll be like, oh, it's this, maybe it's that, because things happen and we're like, fuck, and she'll remember, like, hey, check this out because of that, remember? And I'm like, all right, fuck, let me do it. Boom, the car fucking works. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's fucking cool.
Oh, she's lucky. I feel like it's just a lucky shot, and I'm just, I don't know. Sometimes she gets lucky sometimes.
But she's paying attention to you, right?
Yes. Before the baby, she was there wrenching with me. Like, I felt like it's good to show people. You know what I mean?
She's out there getting dirty.
Yeah. But so I got the car, fixed it up, drove it around. I had just gotten it registered and was driving it. It was my only vehicle, and that's what I drove. So I moved to Phoenix, and I would drive that to work and back, and then when I was hanging out every weekend to hop and stuff, well, trying to hop, you know what I mean, and then I started like, okay, you need this. How many
batteries did you start off with?
6, and then 8, and then 14, and then 18. So it kind of jumped up fast from the first couple to the next, because I knew what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
And in order to make it jump higher, you need more power. You know what I mean? And I added more batteries and more another pump because.
Who taught you how to hit switches?
Myself. I guess you could say self-taught. I mean, I blew so many motors and solenoids. I blew so many solenoids that I used to buy them from AutoZone, and they're lifetime warranty solenoids. They're Ford starter solenoids, and I did it so many times that I was burning solenoids so much and warranty, and they asked me like what I was doing when something's wrong with my car, and they didn't know I had hydraulics.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because I bought like 4, and then I would keep going and going back, and they put me on the list. You can't exchange warranty no more, like for that part at AutoZone. You know what I'm saying?
Bitches.
So I'd have to use like my girl's ID or someone else. You know what I mean? Like, hey, buy one, and let's just slowly start changing them out like I was doing.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, I didn't want to keep buying.
For the love of motherfucking love, right?
I didn't want to keep buying because they're like $10-12 a pop. If I could warranty them, I mean, shoot, who wouldn't want to go to AutoZone?
We need to get you a sponsor.
Yeah, and actually, thankfully for sponsors, they give me some clothes, my new tires and rims I got right now. Thank you. Bless.
Sponsored?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, they gave them to me. If the tire breaks, I get it fixed.
That's tight.
I feel like people, you might think that people are by themselves, but in reality, the people that are by themselves have so many people for them or on their side. They want to see you do good because you're kind of by yourself. I think, you know what I mean.
But because you're solid though.
Yeah.
Because if you're an asshole, I don't think they would help you.
That's correct. I think that like these guys here, a lot of people trash talk when they're in the low riding scene, and
that's with anything though.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like if you show people respect, I think that a lot of people can turn around and say, hey, that guy's cool, man. Like, he doesn't seem arrogant. He doesn't seem like putting people down. 'Cause a lot of people could be out there hopping and talking shit. Come on, pull up. Shit. Yeah, just let it be.
You're just like, pull up.
Yeah, and
if I do good, I do good. And if not, you still go and you shake their hand.
Shake your hand, bro. That was a good hop. It's for fun. There's nothing serious, and everything's fixable, you know? So.
That's crazy. What's one of the most expensive hops you've ever had?
As far as braking?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've broken my axle. I don't know. I would say my fender, breaking a fender, because I do have a Grand Prix, and the parts are rare. Not that they're rare, but they're hard to come by compared to a Monte Carlo or a Cutlass. Grand Prix is like the redhead stepchild of G bodies. No one likes Grand Prix. I don't know why.
You like it?
I liked it. You know, it grows things. You either like them or you don't. And I'd say 80% of people do not like them.
My uncle was never a Rivera or whatever that
Riviera?
Yeah, no, he never liked that.
I like the. Oh, I should hit it up on my bad. Sorry. I should I feel like people remember you because you have a car that no one has. Like, hey, that guy has a Grand Prix. That's that one dude.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm saying? Like that. That's how I.
Stand out.
That's how I felt like. I'll run with it. You know what I mean? Because I love Monte Carlo. Those are bad. And Frank has a Regal, and I like Regal. Those are nice car too because the fender on this, it's like 2 pieces. Something breaks, you could just change the skin. I mean, there's certain parts of cars from building them that I like, but I like this. I'd invested so much.
How many cars have you had?
This one.
Just this one.
Well, 2 Grand Prix, and that was it. I built this one ground up. Frame, everything. I don't know how to explain it.
Yearly, how much you spend?
Thousands.
Damn.
Thousands and thousands. And low riding compared.
Is it expensive?
Very, very expensive. I mean, right now I blew that one motor, which is like $120, and then if the gear is bad, you could say you have to buy a new gear, $250. You know what I mean? And that's just for one gear. So
how many gears?
There's 2 gears here. So if I were to blow something, it could potentially be $500 for 2 new gears.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Potentially. You know what I mean?
So you seen that one video that I think is pretty cool. The one that Georgia did. You follow Georgia?
Yes.
That one video, she said when people are like, "Hey, where's your car?" And then she was like, "I'm working on it." And then they're like, "When is your car coming out?" And she was like, are you gonna give me money? Are you gonna give me your money? And I'm like, yes, dude. Like,
yes, I feel it.
Are you gonna give me your money?
I feel it because people want to come out and do their cars, but people don't want them to break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I just got new batteries. I bought 8 new batteries, and it was like $1,200, and that was just last week. You know what I mean? So it can be expensive if you don't stay on it, I guess. But it's a big sport. I think it's fun. Like, these dudes over here were talking about, oh, just change this and change that, and it's like easier said than done. Let me have your money to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel how you say, why don't you come out and just change this and change that?
Yeah, give me your money.
It's easy to change this and that if money's not an object to you. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're a family man, you know? Like, you ain't a CEO of something.
Just
like,
a dude and just living, you know?
Regular dude trying to live his life.
It's crazy. I recognize it's different. You know what I mean? Right now, COVID and all that shit, and I just had a baby. Like, I didn't just have a baby, but taking care of the baby, your expenses and your priorities are changing. You know what I mean? Like, to me, fuck it. I'll be hopping every day of the week, all day and every day. But now I have a kid. I gotta watch the baby. You know
Does she like the cars?
She likes them. She knows I have one, but she's right now, like, I try to get into her big time, you know what I mean? And she really likes it, although right now she's a kid playing with Snoopy and fucking, you know what I mean? We've been doing that, you know? I stepped away for like 3 months. Now I'm back.
Well, this was raw and cut. We didn't have to take 1, take 2, or take 3. This is Rob underscore, what's it Instagram?
Rob DGAF, Rob don't give a fuck 714, Rob DGAF. My license plate says who hoppin'.
Oh, that's what it is.
Who hoppin'. So basically, like, when people pull up and they see my car and they're like, they read it and they're like, what the fuck? This fool's ready to hop. This is some business, unfinished business. I named my girl named my car.
What the hell?
I was gonna call it Never Satisfied or Cali Dreamin'. I was in Arizona, okay? And I had done a frame off for this car. And I was like, man, I just put so much money into it. It's never gonna end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was like, never satisfied, because I'm always gonna change something. And my girl's like, unfinished business. It's never finished. There's always, you have unfinished business. And I said, you know what? I like it, and I'm gonna roll with it. And I wanted to change the name when I changed it from gold to black, something different.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what. I felt right, unfinished business.
It's a signature.
It just seems cool. You know, I don't know another car that's called that.
No.
You know? And I mean, what would you name a car if you had a car? If you had a car, what kind of car would you have, and would it have hydraulics?
I would want to have hydraulics. I used to never really like cars like the girls that come and cruise and like know about cars and stuff, because I was always into just pictures. Like, I grew up around mechanic. My uncle's a mechanic since I was small. He was my mechanic. Like, nice. Anytime I needed something, I would be like, deal. And then I think it was like 2017 or so. One of my homies was coming on the car scene, so I came with him, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take pictures, like, this is just it. And then I started seeing females, so I'm like, oh, that's cool, like, that, like, get it, you know?
Nacho! Yeah, I'll get it, thank you. Yes, sir. Sorry.
It's okay. So then I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, one of the first ones that I seen was Georgia. I was like, dang, I want to be like her. Like, she's a female, and she's pretty, and she's killing it, and like, she works on her cars. And I started seeing like Candy and Chrome, like, she I think she works on cars. If not, she sells parts or something like that. She's like basically like in the car
I know
industry.
She was building a car that it was actually pretty impressive, because I had seen it and I was like, oh shit, you have this and that. And she sent me the link. Candy and Chrome, the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she sells parts.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she had some cool, like, killer brake system or something on, like, I think she has a G body or something. And I was like, oh shit. But I feel like girls, I know that, like you said, Georgia, I remember she had made a video where she was building a pump or something on like a stand a few years ago. And I was like, oh shit, look at this fucking girl right here. That's tight.
And I think that's cool, you know, like, because not only is she in the car scene, like, yeah, she can model, but she can also know about cars and the parts and what is this and what is that. So I think women inspired me to be like, okay, maybe one day I might get a car. But if I were to get a car, I'd probably want to get an Impala. I've always liked Impalas. Like
one of the ones that are like a 64, 63, 63.
Honestly, I like the 59.
Okay.
Like,
with like the front end of it, the tail lights.
The lights. I think the lights gets me.
The cat eye.
Yeah.
It's a very signature look.
And original too.
A lot of people like that.
Like
I
the
like
black
that.
on red.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, we used to build model cars when we were kids. In elementary school. I mean, fuck, dude. My dad was a mechanic in the military, like diesel mechanic, work on tanks and shit. And so I was outside working on things all the time with cars with my dad. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing. We all like lowriders as kids. You know, lowrider bikes, lowrider model cars, mostly because we're a kid. You know, you could only buy a model car. And, you know, and we used to always make them jump. And I liked trucks when I was a kid, and we would like tilt them. Like, I would just put shit. I didn't know how to really make them fucking dance and shit like that, you know, but
yeah, but they're a lot cheaper, model cars than real cars.
I
never really liked lowriders. I mean, I had like, my mom had a Blazer. I think it was like a K5 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then my uncle had like another Blazer, but like the more lifted one. I don't know which one that one is. I know my mom's was lifted and my uncle's was lifted too. I had fucking velvet seats, so in the summer it was fucking hot and nasty. That shit was gross. But yeah, that's what I grew up around. And then my uncle had the Astro van. I thought that shit was so tight because on the inside I had like the fancy cups or whatever and the carpets and all that bullshit. I thought it was super bougie, right?
Yeah, that was in the 90s they had it.
Yeah.
Like that was actually like a lot of what are they? Safari GMC vans, like caravans and stuff. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, like an Astro van, like the one with the no windows.
Oh, I like
and it
that
really
one.
had like the little
teardrop or diamond.
Yes.
I like that one.
Yes, and I thought it was
one.
tight because like he had like on the inside like the cup holders were like super fancy, and he used to have like I guess they were like for people that wanted to drink like hard liquor, dark liquor, or whatever. So it was like the actual fancy like crystal glasses.
Sick.
Yeah, and we thought we were fancy drinking water out of that shit, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And
I would actually buy one of those. I like the van.
They're tight.
And
they're like they're spacious and like you just have a lot of room. So I thought that was cool. And then what else? My cousins used to have two trucks, like the lifted trucks too, the monster trucks. Yeah. That was kind of tight. And then other than that, I don't know of anything else. Well, I didn't grow up with my dad, but my dad actually has lowriders. He used to take me, but yeah, he used to take me. Which I don't like to talk about, it's personal, but he used to take me when I was small, like to like car shows and shit. And I thought that was fun. But he liked more like classics. He didn't really like lowriders. I don't know why. He grew up in Cocoima, like there was fucking lowriding in Cocoima ever since like ever, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. He never really talked about it, but he used to take me. He had a Harley. I remember we used to drive that or like cruise on that, and my mom would be mad. She's like, don't be bringing her in that. She's gonna fall. Like my dad's like, dude, chill out. Like she's safe. And then he had a Cadillac, a white one. I don't know the year. And then he had I don't know what the other car was. It was a fucking big ass boat and it was black and it had no roof.
Wow.
Yeah, he had like 3 of them. But he's those dudes that just likes to chill and like doesn't take it to shows, like barely even drives it. I'm just like, bro, like drive your shit.
It's crazy because I would just be always on my skateboard and like I always wanted a lowrider car, although like growing up, you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like we didn't go to car shows and shit. If we did see cars, it was on Garden Grove and Main Street right there. You know what I mean? There's a little car show on Fridays.
Oh, car show, cruises. My mom would take me to cruises in her Camry. Like she would be that weird lady that you would just see with her kids in the back seat.
That's cool.
And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, we're gonna go cruising. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and that's what I grew up on, like going on Bristol. And then she's like, what are they gonna do when they pull me over? Be like, what are you doing? I'm like, with my kids. I'm grocery shopping. I'm going to the Food for Less right there. Like
we would always talk about cruising in Bristol on Easter and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's always been in like around. But I only had like 2 dudes of like 2 of my homies that had cars like that, and they never took them out because they weren't even finished. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got a lowrider, but I can't really drive it really well, like much or whatnot.
Yeah.
So once
my cousins would take me and my mom.
And once I got this bad boy, I was like, okay, well, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be dipping. I wanted to hop it for sure. That's why, absolutely, no matter what, this was my daily driver. I drove it to work. It was my only vehicle. And besides my skateboard, but I knew I wanted to jump it all the time, and I did everywhere I went, at every stoplight, everywhere until I learned. Like now I could. I don't know if you saw me earlier. I was jumping it like one hand style.
Oh yeah.
Like you can learn how to do that shit. It just takes practice, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, Frank always be teasing me like, yeah, you came from surfer skater guy from California, like. And now you're over here fucking banging bumper, like killing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So totally different lifestyle. And I think these, like a lot of people, that's why a lot of them argue, and I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever, let's have fun. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say like, whatever.
You're not hot-headed.
No, I don't care. People that know me, I'll be cool outside, and then when we leave, I'll be laughing like, oh, I hopped against that guy. Did you see me? You know, but I feel like to be humble gets you far. You know what I mean? And respect.
And it's less stress.
Yeah, I don't give. If you were to say who's my hater out here, I wouldn't say anybody's my hater. I have no haters. And even if I did, I don't care. You know what I mean? And if people beat me, oh, they beat me. Who cares? I mean, oh, they're higher. That's fine. I had fun laughing the whole time I was doing it.
See, that's why people like copying with you.
That was worth it. You know what I mean? If someone breaks, I'll go help them fix it, bro.
Yeah,
you know
I've
what I
seen
mean?
that.
Like this.
And vice versa, they help you.
Yes, and I think that really sometimes it might be missing by some people. Like people don't get it. You know what I mean? Like we're all in it together. We all know how much we spend on our cars. You know what I mean? And some people might be arrogant and hop and leave, and that's that. Some people I know that they've seen me break and they'll sit and wait, and it's dark. They'll put their headlights and help me fix it, and then we'll go home.
What's the longest somebody's ever waited for you?
Oh, hours, dude. I think I've got home 2-3 in the morning.
Damn.
Broke at midnight, just because like we didn't start like out there. You don't start hopping until 11 or 12, and then shit breaks and take 2 hours to fix it or something. Who knows? You know, who knows?
That's crazy.
Now I feel like I could fix things like that. Before, fuck, dude. You know what I mean? Flashlights and hammers. You know, like. But
that's crazy.
Good day. I really appreciate you spending some time hanging out, cruising.
This is on a Sunday afternoon with Rob.
Yeah, me and B sitting in the Grand Prix.